Hello beautiful people, I am the Kenyan Peace, and alongside I have Twins Hangout, the single twin, one of the twin, one half.
One half of the Twins Hangout.
Yeah. And today's video, it's courtesy of Twins Hangout because what are we going to do today?
So today we are going to be meeting a Jamaican. He flew into Kenya and he wanted to meet us, and we just want to know his experience in Kenya so far, because I understand he's been staying in Kenya for a while, because he flew in I think last week, so he's been to the Mara, so I want to get his experience on that.
And also his process of coming to Kenya, acquiring his visa, the process, if it was easy or hard, and so that he can help those who want to come to Kenya have easy accessibility to Kenya.
Right.
So you are the one who are going to meet the Jamaican guy. Why did you invite me?
You are the Kenyan beast, like
no.
what Jamaican doesn't know you, and then plus you're doing Jamaican content right now. So I feel like you're also going to he's going to be happy to meet you, and vice versa, I'm guessing.
And your audience also can learn a lot from him, because see, many of them want to come. They can learn the process of it from him.
Wow. So I'm going back to Jamrock. The first time I went to Jamrock, we were supposed to go with the Twins Hangout, but Twins Hangout, they hung out alone. But today I said I have to go with them in Jamrock. And have you ever met a Jamaican maybe?
Oh wow, I've never met any Jamaican. This is going to be the first Jamaican I'm going to meet. And I've heard them speak, but it was always through the phone. I love their accent. So I'm very, very excited because today I'm going to hear it live. I'm going to meet him like one-on-one. I'm very happy about that.
Do you know Jamaicans are big, huge?
Yeah, apparently.
They're not short like Odemaya. I saw Odemaya vlog, and he was the only short guy.
Yeah, I saw that too.
In Jamaica.
And I'm wondering, are all Jamaicans like that? Because I believe people have specific phenotypes coming from different countries, and Jamaicans have just a specific build, and it's same with people from Uganda, people from different places. So I'm quite happy and excited to meet this one. And I understand you're going to be meeting Ricardo as well. I'm excited about that.
Oh, he's in the same place, huh?
Right.
Wow.
So if we could get to talk to Ricardo as well, that is going to be nice.
Wow. I told you guys, we were saying that here in Kenya, maybe as content creators, that we don't love each other. But not all of them. Twins Hangouts, they love me. They love them so much.
So you're like a brother to us.
Yeah, sure.
The brother that we never got an opportunity to have.
Yeah, sure. So we are going to Jamrock. Let's see. My expectations are high because I've done a video call with the Jamaicans. I expect to see maybe a huge person. I expect to float on the language because the language barrier.
Yeah, you will tell them to speak slowly so that you can understand what they're saying.
Yeah, man. But a lot of them who are in the US or Canada, at least they speak. I understand easily. But those who have talked to them who are in Jamaica, I float. I'm like, pardon.
Especially when they start speaking their patois.
Yeah. Wow. But I'm very humble today. Let's see what's on the other side.
Dynamic.
Hello my people, I am the Kenyan Beast. Of course, I'm doing it the African way every time.
Afro-Jamaican, aka Kudia, Jamaican living in Toronto, Canada. Hoping to have a bicontinental lifestyle between Toronto and Nairobi.
Peace and love, African family. Peace, love, and sunlight. This is Ankeru from Jam Tours Africa family, and I'm excited to be with these young Kenyans, YouTubers, and I'm here to support them. And as I said, I deal with tours and travel and relocating back to Africa, so that's what I do.
People from West Africa, like from Ghana, Nigeria, they are so loud, they are outgoing. How do you see Kenyans? Like, you have interacted with Kenyans, and maybe you.
Yeah, no, Kenyans is pretty laid back.
Yes.
And that's the reason why you find a lot of a lot of men maybe like wives from East Africa, because they're more like, more like not so loud and stuff and calm. So that's how I experience Kenyans.
If you don't mind, would you tell us please a bit of your experience, your first time coming to Kenya?
So I was in Canada and something had happened to me, and I realized I need to leave and be around people that look like me, people that would understand me. That we have a term back home called code switching. That is how you have to behave different in front of people who are not Africans, right? Yeah. So I was going to go to Ghana, and something just says no, not Ghana, go to Kenya. And so I kind of picked Kenya somewhat randomly. And coming through the airport, I remember coming through the airport. One thing I noticed before I get to the airport, on the flight from Addis Ababa to Mombasa, including me and the crew of the aircraft, there were only 20 black people on board, and the flight was full. So I was like, wow, this is different. A lot of people are going, just not people like us. So I got to the airport, the immigration officer looked at my passport, and I said something, and he goes, you have an accent? And I go, yeah, I'm Jamaican. And she goes, oh, welcome. But when I got past immigration, the customs lady who was searching the bag, she looked at my name, and my name is Julius Naireri, and said she was talking about the name, and then she said, oh, hold on, where are you from? And I said, Jamaican. And so we're having a wonderful experience. It's my first time in Kenya. I'm excited. So after she didn't even check my bag. We just talked, and I was leaving. She shouted my name at the airport, so I thought I did something wrong. I turned back, and she goes, welcome home. And honestly, even talking about it now, I still feel it. That one moment from that total stranger acknowledging me as an African and being at home has changed my life completely.
But the reason why I acknowledged, was it because of the Tanzania president? Or what was his name?
Julius Nyerere?
Same.
No, we joked about that. She said, oh, you should go to Tanzania, they'll give you a parade. But the fact that she knew I'm Jamaican, she I've never been to Africa before, and she made it a point. She drove it home, because I had walked away, I was finished with her. She stopped and she shouted my name, and I looked back and she goes, welcome home. And that was amazing. I wish I could go back and find her and thank her, because it totally changed the trajectory of my life from that moment on.
All right. And another question I really wanted to ask is, a lot of Jamaicans, when they talk about when they come to the motherland, they want to go to the areas, West African areas, maybe Ghana or Nigeria, and you describe your experience here in Kenya. So maybe tell us, what is the relationship Jamaicans have with West Africa, that a lot of them only know those countries? And Zimbabwe or Zambia.
So the majority, you guys are familiar with the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. Yeah. So the majority of people in the West, black people in America and in the Caribbean, in South America, came from Angola, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and the Gambia. That's where we're mostly from. There's when I was doing my research for one of my episodes, I do realize that some of us did come from Zimbabwe. There was a couple ships that did come from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and head over as well. So it is possible that there might have been even some Kenyans along there as well, because I know there's one black American who has no ties to Kenya but has Kenyan in their DNA.
It's possible because most Kenyans come from Congo.
Yes, so it is possible.
And remember, so there's like a
Rasta union too, because remember the Momo was fighting the British, and they are Rastas, and the Rasta originate from Jamaica. You understand? Well, Rasta is long before Jamaica still, you know.
Yeah. But I think so. Yeah. To answer your question, is that's why, because we have an affinity for West Africa, because really the majority of us, that's where we're from.
So jam to us. Okay, I'm interested to know when was your first time coming to Kenya, and why did you choose Kenya?
Well, I actually chose Ghana, to be honest with you. I know 2017 I wake up saying peace and love, African family, peace, love and sunlight. So I think for me, started saying that it was actually in me to come to Africa. So in the pandemic, I was like to get out of Jamaica. It was so small, out of lockdown, and for me, I always want to be on a continent of people. And I always feel like if I have a business, it will be better on a continent of people and not just like small Jamaica. As Marcus Garvey said, you never give up an island or a continent. So that was all in the back of my mind, move to somewhere big where I can reach a mass of people. So I chose Ghana, but I never really settled in Ghana. My plan was to always come to Ethiopia and find a wife. That was always my plan. So I actually end up in Kenya, found my wife in Kenya. That's Kenya.
Right.
Yeah, so the name Jam to us, is it like a business, a company, or is it just a name?
Well, for me, doing my business is always I am like an experience. Like when I'm traveling, I like to build a business around that, things that I like to do. So when you're doing business, it's always good to do something that you can wake up and do every day, and you having fun while you're selling something to somebody and them having fun and you're making money because you're all having fun. Business is something you do, you have to love it. So I always try to, anything I do, I always try to actually create a business out of it. I'm into health, I create a company called veganchoicefoods.com. So I'm traveling now and experiencing new culture and new things, and I'm actually tying to helping people coming back to Africa. So when I was in Ghana, actually was doing a taxi service business. I call it Jam Tours Taxi Services. And I just, because I'm into YouTube now, it's like Jam Tours Africa.
And there is this one recent topic I was discussing on YouTube about some comment I received in my YouTube about there is this one person who usually say that don't call Jamaicans Africans because they even don't look like Africans. Jamaicans are Tainos and Arawak and Maroons. What's your comment on that?
So I'm going to tell you this. There has been a lot of effort put into separating us. And every so often, someone else will try a different strategy to separate us. And I see that as nothing more than a strategy to separate us. Because I will challenge any one of those Jamaicans who said that they're Taino to do a DNA test. And so that's all I'm going to say to them. Let's do a DNA test and put it to rest. Now, the Tainos that were in Jamaica are all died out. They no longer exist in Jamaica. You might find some people of the Maroons that will have DNA from the Tainos because those are the ones who escaped very early from when the Spanish had Jamaica and they went up in the mountains. And chances are, they might have been Tainos still left up there. So you might have some DNA. But the majority of Jamaicans are African. Now, you have Chinese Jamaicans, you have white Jamaicans.
Out of one, many people.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
You can't go around that. You can't go around that.
Of course you can go around
Don't get me started on that. I'm pro-African. I'm not against anybody, but I'm for Africans. And if me being for Africans kind of eliminate other things, then so be it. So yeah. But anyway, so that's why they say that. There's even this movement in the States now, what they call themselves, FBAs, that they're native to the United States. Again, I challenge any of those people to do a DNA test. No. Were there Africans on the continent before Columbus? Absolutely. Yes. Columbus says it in his diary. Yes. He saw Africans. So I'm not disputing the fact that Africans were not traversing the Atlantic Ocean before the Europeans came. Of course they were.
We're the one that created the route.
They have the Olmec heads. They have statues in South America that are very much African. So I'm not disputing any of that, but that is not where we're from. And until there is some scientific proof showing otherwise, I'm going to say we're all from Africa.
Okay, so I see you have a logo on your shirt, and I know there's a reason behind the words. So maybe you talk to us about that, and you tell us Yeah.
It would be my pleasure. CREDEA stands for the Coalition for the Repatriation of the Descendants of Enslaved Africans. The whole idea behind CREDEA, it came out of the challenges I have of trying to relocate to Kenya. There is currently no process by which a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade, so an African who was removed 500 years ago, to be able to come back to Africa. There's no procedure. So CREDEA started as to bring awareness that there's a bunch of us who want to come back home. There's no policy for us to come back home. So let us try and encourage, I wouldn't say convince, encourage some of these African countries to give us the right to return. So we have a petition and we're trying to get 5,000 signatures on the petition. It is free to sign. The petition is on change.org, but you can access it through my website, which is credea.com/repatriation, and you'll be able to go right to the change.org website and fill out the questionnaire, do the survey. The survey is free to sign. Anybody can sign it. I want Africans to sign it. I want continental Africans, diaspora Africans to sign it, because if we get enough momentum behind this, we get the 5,000 signatures, I'm going to take that document to every African embassy in Washington, D.C. I live about a 10-hour drive from Washington, D.C., so I'll just drive down and distribute it then. But the second part to it, of my third part strategy, the second part is to get Africans writing their member of parliament and say, hey, our cousins from the Caribbean and from the Americas and from Europe want to come home to Africa. Make a policy for them. So anybody who signs up on the survey, or the petition rather, eventually they're going to get a letter that they can just simply put their name, sign if they agree, and send it to their elected representative. And then the elected representative, hopefully, if they get enough, will go to their, I don't know, I think in Kenya you have a Senate, will go to the Senate and say, hey, I'm presenting a private member's bill to create a policy for descendants of the transatlantic slave trade to find a home in Africa. So that is the end goal, is yes, to get the petition out there so everybody's aware of it, but to hopefully get continental Africa to say, hey, let our cousins and brothers and sisters, let them back into the continent. Because while we are not millionaires, we are professionals, we're educated, we're coming with experience. So I think you guys can build Africa yourselves. I have no doubt about that. But with us, we can do it faster, right? And that's the whole aim. If us coming together,
more unity,
we can do it faster. Yes, absolutely. But when I look around at the different African countries, they all have a similar policy, and the policy disproportionately affects Black people trying to immigrate to these African countries.
And on that note, there is this controversial quote I'm going to make. Do you think, in course, do you think they fear that if we unite, we'll become stronger? That's why they are keeping these harsh policies.
I think if we unite, there will be a shift in consciousness, and I'm going to tell you why. When certain people come here, you see them on vacation. The interaction you have with them, or you see them if they're posted at the UN or posted somewhere, you have a very limited interaction with them. I live with them every day. The treatment is very different from when someone is on vacation. So if we come together, I think I'll be able to give you a very different perspective of certain behaviors that you see here that you don't understand. Though, if you get what I'm saying, you understand, but I'm not going to really get into it. I do have a job, I don't want to get fired. So, yeah. So I think there is a fear of us coming together, and that is why a lot of immigration policies are the way they are. To come to Kenya, if you want to move here and operate a business, you need $100,000 US in a Kenyan bank. To go to Zimbabwe, it's $125,000. To go to South Africa, it's $500,000. Now, as Black people, unfortunately to say, wherever in the world we are, we tend to be the poorest. Okay, we tend to be.
Why is that?
Again, it's all by design.
Well, by unity. It's lack of support each other.
It's also by design. It's all. There's a system in there. There is a system at play here. We bear some responsibility.
Of course, we do.
We bear some responsibility, but there's also a system at play. It's why I could be having the exact same job as a Caucasian, and I will be paid less than the Caucasian. So there is a system at play.
Don't you think that they fear black people?
I don't know if it's a fear. I don't know. I don't know if it's all of that. I think a system was created by their forefathers 500-600 years ago to benefit them.
Why?
And
because, let me tell you why. Because black people was the first civilization set of people on earth. We used to be the ruler, the kings and queens on earth before the Caucasian put in place. So when them turn around and overthrow us because of our own selfishness, they can't give us back that power to take place. Because remember, we were the first modernization people on earth. Teach people how to cook, how to build, how to do mathematics, how to do everything. Civilization start from here, Africa, from us. So when they get the chance to control the power, they learn from us and overthrow us by our own people and never try to get us back on top because they try everything to break us. So that could be 500 years or more. They try to control us, take away our history, take away our knowledge, our power, strip us from our rights, because the moment we get back that, they're going to know that we are going to be on top again, and they do not want that.
And what I would say to that is, I don't necessarily think it's a fear, because to be quite honest, we have militarily we're nothing. Economically, we're nothing. Resource-wise, we are everything. And if we did come together and started to think as Pan-Africans as opposed to just Kenyans or just Ugandans or just Tanzanians, they will have an issue. They will have an issue. If they started paying the fair prices for our minerals or food and all that, they will have an issue. So it's more about economics. It's not a physical fear, because really they can still dominate us. They still do. They still do.
But if we control the food, we control the world. Anyone control the food, control the world, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you war with the food.
So I'll tell you this. What I'll say is this. Other countries grow food as well.
We control the resources too.
Other countries have resources as well.
Than black people?
It's not a competition. What I'm saying to you is other countries have resources as well. So we have to come together and make it so that we operate as a block. We should negotiate as a block and not do individual bilateral agreements with these organizations, because we're going to lose. And that's where I think we come in, because we see it in a different picture. When I'm coming to Kenya, I'm coming to Africa. Yes, it's Kenya, but I'm looking other places.
Yeah.
I'm looking as, if I see a Ugandan, you're my brother. And unfortunately, I get that some Africans don't see it that way. Some Africans don't even think we're Africans. Also from the diaspora. True. I see the comments. Oh yes. But for us coming here, any black person, or let me not say any, let me give a statistic. 99.997% of black people who are coming to Africa are Pan-Africans. They are coming with the intention that we should get together. There's some exploiters out there, don't get me wrong, right? But the majority of us coming here because we want to see us together. We see us as one family, really. And that's why we do get our feelings hurt when you interact and you realize that some Africans don't see us as Africans. They see us as foreigners with dollar signs. So sometimes it does hurt. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't. But at the end of the day, I think that was also by design, and not necessarily something that you did, but something that whatever system that was here conditioned your mind to think that way.
And because of this disconnect to talk about between Africans and other black people, be it Jamaica or black Americans, let's say, so because of this disconnect, maybe the question I want to ask is for Africans to try and understand, when a Jamaican is coming into the country or into Africa in general, the kind of struggles you guys go through, right? Maybe if you can discuss with us a little of those
maybe get there.
So that we can
what do you guys want to take that you can?
When it comes to like coming from Jamaica, you have a lot of classism you know, I mean, you have like, you know, racism, you know, you have colorism, you know. So in Jamaica, you see that people is bleaching and stuff, stemming from that, you know, that stigma where, you know, the lighter you be, the more opportunity you get and stuff. So, you know, in Jamaica, you'll actually experience things like that. So you want to like bleach and stuff. So those are some of the challenges. Favoritism. So when you come to Africa, everybody's like you. So it just feels so great. It feels so good. And I never feel so safe. And so, you know what I mean, even how police deal with you, if you see Jamaican police will terrorize you for small things. You don't find that in Kenya. It's like the police is not like on the road with a ticket book, giving you a ticket when you're driving and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you drive here freely as a foreigner. I love that. I feel so free. You can go on the soft shoulder when you want. You know, it's like
let me tell you.
In Jamaica, you do that, you end up in jail.
Let me tell you one thing.
We have a privilege though that they don't have in their own country, and we need to acknowledge that. We have a privilege in this when we're here that you don't have in your own country, and it's really sad. You don't think you have a privilege being here?
No, I don't think so.
I definitely think so. The police may not harass you. I've seen things, my friend, and I think that's what you were going to say.
That was I was about to say.
Yeah, I think as a foreigner in any country, especially if there's a economic imbalance, you're going to have some privilege. You're going to have some privilege. So like I went to my bank the other day, and the branch manager and the director from the head office bought me breakfast. How many Kenyans are going to get that?
I don't get that treat.
Exactly. So what I'm going to say is that there is a privilege that comes with it, and I will acknowledge that privilege and try to use it in service.
How much money you were spending about that day?
It doesn't. It's not about. I wasn't spending any money, to be quite honest. They were helping me. No,
helping you?
They were helping me.
Nice.
But to go back to your question about the challenges come when you want to try and immigrate here, right? It comes down to Kenya doesn't really have an immigration policy necessarily, just like Jamaica, so it's not unique. The difference is with Jamaica, you could go to Jamaica tomorrow, register a business, apply for a work permit, and have it within, I don't know, 30 days.
A matter of fact, you can even go to Jamaica and start a business without no documents.
Okay, we're not going to promote that. No. You can do that here too, but you can do that here too.
I'm saying,
but what I'm saying is the financial requirements from Jamaica is not as hard as it is here.
Exactly.
It is very hard here.
Difficult.
And so coming here to retire is easy. Coming here to vacation is easy. But if you're going to come here and intend to operate a business, be prepared. There will be some challenges. And I've lost money twice. I've been scammed twice. Yeah. I'm still not giving up because I feel I belong here. And is it wise to make financial decision on emotions? Probably not, but the feeling of belonging I have here, to me, is priceless. So I'm not paying any more facilitation fees, so y'all don't come asking. But I feel like I belong here, so I'm going to try whatever I need to do to stay here.
Okay. And what there's an episode we posted about you, and there's something you're trying to communicate to our Kenyan president, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
So if the president was watching this, because I believe miracles do happen, if this happened to land on the laps of the president, communicate to him, like, what would you want him to know, and what would you like him to work on?
Just a policy, a very clear, a transparent, efficient policy, how descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, or even the Arab slave trade for that matter, who want to come back to Kenya, because he's the president of Kenya, have a policy for us to come back.
Yeah.
Right? We're not asking to be citizens. We're not asking the right to vote. I'm not asking for any social benefits or anything. Just say, hey, you want to come? You have a certain percentage of DNA or you're melanated. Come, pay $2,000 for your fees and whatever, and go.
As you know, I believe I'm a Kenyan, but also I have to call out the wrongs that are in our country. And I do believe the problem that is ailing our country is the corruption. Because even if someone wants to come and start a business, people don't see the side where someone is coming, starting a business, and creating job opportunities at the same time. That is something I believe that can help the country. But the problem is the corrupt officials we have in Kenya.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get deported. But yes, I believe even okay. I have two companies registered here. One that's not operational, which is the one I want to work in. The one that is my passion. I want to come and live that passion here. Right away when I start, I will need 3 employees right away. My other company, I own some bikes, motors. Right, I have a Kenyan partner. She manages it. I bought the bikes. It's our company, 50-50 split. And she's an employee, and there are 2 other employees that ride bikes. By the end of the year, we hope to have 10 bikes, right? So even if one person comes and hires 2 people, it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win. Yeah.
It's a win-win. And I understand that we want multinationals to come into our countries and hire people, but I'm going to use Canada as an example. The majority of Canadians work for small to medium enterprises, not massive corporations. Mm-hmm. And that's Canada. And I would want to say it's the same for most countries. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? So there's an opportunity here. Everybody, the minute you're black and you come from the West, they call you Black American. So I'm going to just say African American. Yeah. African Americans have money. African Americans spend about $12 billion on weave. You know that false hair that people wear? Yeah, in the last 5 years, $12 billion. That's a lot of money. Just on here. Weave. Okay, we take vacations. We could be coming here. So there's so much opportunity that Afro-Americans or Afro-Caribbean or Afro-British that we could give to Africa, that we could give to Kenya. But I just don't think we're on their radar. I don't think so. So if the president is seeing it, a clear and efficient system where we know what the fee is, we pay the fee, we're using M-Pesa or online, and that's it, right? I'm not saying don't do your leniency, make it more easier for your own. I don't know if it's easier. I want it to be clear. I want it to still have a security check because you don't want sketchy people coming. It should be something where you have to prove that you were either born in Jamaica or born in the US or it has to have checks and balances because you need checks and balances. I understand that. Yes. You also have to have stipulations. If I come and open a company, at least 80% of my workforce must be Kenyan. Like you have to protect Kenyans as well. So we're not looking to be dishonest or to take anything from Kenyans. We're looking to work together to build. All boats rise with the tide. Yes, I want to take care of my family financially, but I can hire you and you can take care of your family financially. And if business get great and I expand, then you can buy into the company or you can become the manager. So we can do it. Even somebody who retires here, you still hire a house person. So I just think that we are almost like a hidden market for the Kenyan government, and I don't think they see us, and I don't know how to make them see us.
Now, it's my first person to meet you and you too. And I've heard that you, at the first time, you wanted to choose Ghana. And now you are here in Kenya. And even you chose Ghana, but you are here. I'm happy you chose Ghana because because even Ghanaians, I have a lot of Ghanaians followers. They are telling me they want to come in Kenya. So my question to you, when you are not in Africa, when you are viewing Africa from outside, we had this thing that this discussion that we need to have one currency and countries with no borders, no visas, that we can just walk freely. If you are here, you can go to Ghana, you can go to South Africa. Do you think that one can help the unit, or do you think it can come easily?
It depends on the leadership. It depends. Let me rephrase that. It depends on the intestinal fortitude of the leader. Because I'll give you an example. Loans and grants from IMF, World Bank, or American government, whatever. They come with strings attached. I was in the car today and with my wife, and I was looking at Canadian grants for Kenyan companies. And one of the stipulation that was there is there was something about must adhere to these practices. And one of the practices that's there is it's not accepted in Africa, but it's a requirement to get that grant. So it's the same thing with your government. If they're going to get money, let's say to build a road, there will be a stipulation like, oh, but you must allow this thing to happen in your country. So if a government in Africa is going to say, I'm going to remove my borders, and my neighboring country say, I'll do the same, let's go to one currency, those leaders would have to be so strong to accomplish that, because there will be external forces. Remember, there is no benefit to anybody outside of Africa for a united Africa. Do you understand this? There's no benefit. So our leaders would have to be so strong and ready, and we would have to be so strong to be behind them, so we know it's going to get hard. But as my friend said, if you have food, listen, if we stop getting foreign exchange, but everybody in Kenya's belly is full, I don't think there'll be a rebellion, right? So everybody can eat. So we need to think. There, Mali, Niger, what's the other one? Burkina Faso. If they accomplish what they say they're going to do, I think it's a game changer, because very shortly I see Senegal joining them.
Yeah, Senegal, yeah.
Right? And if that happens, oh, that was some exciting times. So it is hard to accomplish. It should be done, because that's why you have the European Union. You can go from one to drive where you don't want to, nobody stress you. America is essentially the same way. They're independent states, but you can drive through and go where you want to, right? So it will only benefit. So, but there will be some hardships that will come with it, because, and I'll give you an example. Let's say Kenya has a massive banana industry, but Uganda can do it cheaper. Where do you think your banana is going to end up coming from? Uganda. What's going to happen to the Kenyan farmers? So there are plus and minuses. Eventually it works out, right? Because then the Kenyan banana farmer can just buy his banana from Uganda and start with banana chips. You have to change. So I don't want to tell you it's all going to be roses. People are going to get hurt. But for the greater good, and eventually it's the way to go.
Okay, and for Jamaicans who are watching this interview and they want to come to Kenya, because I've had a lot of them ask how they can get to Kenya, and you're already here, you've gone through the process.
That's his thing to answer, because he can tell you that better than me.
Yeah, you've gone through the process. What can you tell them?
Yes, guys. So if you guys want to come to Africa, in most African countries are visa free for Jamaicans. Sometimes for the cheap fare you got to go to the US, but if you don't actually have a US visa, you can go from Jamaica to Panama, from Panama or from Jamaica to Cuba, then to maybe somewhere in Europe, and then to Kenya, then to Africa. So that's the route if you don't have a US visa. If you're out there watching this, and when you come into a foreign, because I'm a victim of scam, and that's the reason why I really start Jam Tours, trying to help people when they come to Kenya, pick them up from the airport, assure them like, this is where you can live with your family, this is where you can go to school, this is where you can do this is where you want to go to the mall, they want to know the area and stuff. So you don't have somebody take you around and scam you. So, Jam Tours is here. So if you're watching this and you want to come to Kenya, you can link up with Jam Tours. We can assist you to relocate, get settled, and feel at home.
And for those who want to buy either an apartment, a home, or land, because I understand you help someone get an apartment.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think for that, you leave your contact details, both of you, and your channel, so that those want to contact you can do the same.
Yes. So if you guys looking to buy, start a business, I'm connected with like attorney, immigration attorney, and business attorney to help you guys to go through the process, of getting this immigration right, so you can actually have like a KRA PIN and your bank accounts and stuff. I can put you onto a few people that can help you get those things the legal way.
I have a question or two.
Okay.
You guys have a lot of Jamaican content on your channels. Why? Tell me why.
Okay, it's very funny how it began. I don't know if you know a creator by the name Dimwango.
I do know Dimongo, yeah.
Yeah, but before Dimwango, we once met a Trinidadian here in Kenya.
Oh yeah. That was our very first encounter with anybody from the Caribbean.
Okay.
So that day we were doing Jamaican content. We used to do street interviews before. Right now we are kind of we switched content a little bit. We are doing reaction videos.
They switched content, but I'm still on street.
Yeah. So we used to do street interviews, and so that day we were in Nairobi, and we happened to meet with this Trinidadian woman. We didn't know she was from Trinidad. So we were like, can we ask a few questions about Jamaica? And she was like, yeah, sure. You know Jamaica? Yes, I'm from the Caribbean. I'm Trinidadian. And so she had a whole thing, you know, she was educating us about the Caribbean and all that. And during that time is when the Mongo also started traveling to the Caribbean. So we used to hear about Jamaica, and I don't know if you watched a video of us we did where a lot of African kings think that Jamaica is in Africa.
Yes, I saw that.
Right.
And a lot of Africans, even in South Africa, there's a young lady who said she was growing up and she thought Jamaica was in Africa, and she goes, "How could it not be?"
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So we also realized
when Dimongo went to Jamaica, that was our very first time to get up close and personal with the Jamaican country, because we'd never really see them beyond their music. We'd never seen them up close and personal.
Okay.
They are just the music, and you know, in the music, we just get tiny bits of cultures of people. But when they talk, when they cook, and how they mingle with other foreigners, that's how we get to see them as our people.
Yeah, and the way the Mongo was welcomed in that country, so it was just lovely to see, and that was like an educational period for us as well, and we wanted to take the education we were getting from that and impart it to other Africans. So that is how we started doing Jamaican content. Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you doing that. I really applaud you, and you guys should continue doing what you're doing.
You should go to Jamaica.
Yeah,
We
Because Woody Meyer is organizing a trip from Ghana, from Accra, direct flights, non-stop to Barbados, and I guess they're doing their own thing. Yeah, and eventually, I think and I know that the Bayesian president, our prime minister, was talking about we should wait, something is coming. So I think they're working on something, because it is not that far.
It's not that far.
It is not that far. It is, and there's a guy in Nigeria, airline called Airpeace, that did a flight from Lagos to Montego Bay, Jamaica. I think it was like 8 hours. It's not far. But again, that system that they created forces us to go to Europe,
Spend the money over in
spend the money there, and then come here. And yes, they can say, "Oh, but there's not enough market, isn't there?" Because we didn't know. Because as a Jamaican growing up, seeing Africa, the only Africa we saw was Ethiopia, and it was starvation and war.
Yeah.
Right? It's the only thing we saw. So in the pandemic, when Woody Meyer blew up and was showing Africa, I was like, oh my God, they lied to us.
Right.
When I came to Nairobi, I was like, wow.
You thought you'd meet lions on the street.
Well, I'm not that dumb. I didn't think that, because I went to Mombasa first. I was down there, and Mombasa is, except for the Arab influences, the people, everything feels like Jamaica. It's Jamaica.
It's like Zanzibar.
Yeah.
You go to Zanzibar, it's like Arab place. Influence, culture, religion, everything. Arab.
So, but if you're looking at even Nairobi, if you guys don't talk, I could think I'm in Jamaica right now, sitting down here. So, and again, this is why it is so easy for us Caribbean people to come here, because we are still the same people. After 500 years, we are still, we behave the same. We party the same. We do everything the same. Trust me, if you look at some of the videos of even Dimongo or Woody Meyer in the Jamaican market, and look at the Kenyan market, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But yeah, it should be easier. You guys should try to go to Jamaica. Reach out to Woody Meyer. I think they have space left and he's trying to get sponsors so it's not as expensive for everybody. So hey, yeah, you know.
Yeah, we go have an African party in Jamaica.
Yeah, man, free. You guys there should actually pull up.
Yeah,
That's what it's like. We have good vibes.
we will.
Reach out to one of Maya for real and talk to her about it because he might know you guys. So we try to work out something.
But thanks for your Jamaican content, because honestly, it feels good watching it. It really does feel good. I'm like, they're embracing us, because sometimes
round of applause for them.
yeah, no, it's true. Because sometimes you read some comments and it's like, whoa. So but for the majority, they're welcoming. People say Caribbean welcome, and
But
you
we see
know.
all comments, you know. Everything we see, especially me. I see everything. So people might feel like, oh, one love Africa don't talk to people or yourself. I watch one.
And you know, the funniest thing is, the first time when we first did the Jamaican content, okay, we only knew the Kenyan side of how we loved your music and your influence in the continent, but we didn't actually know how much Jamaicans loved African part, and how much, I even didn't know that Jamaicans helped South Africa regain independence.
Kenya too.
Yes.
Even we didn't know that Jamaicans know
No Africans,
like
except from the music.
I remember this Jamaican broadcaster, Joan Williams. Big up yourself. Love you. She was the one who told me that when one of your leaders was going to court, it was a Jamaican lawyer.
The Jamaican lawyer
that defended him in court. And so Jamaica and Kenya does seem to have some kind of connection there. And I saw when your former president, what's his name? Kenyatta went to Jamaica. It was a big deal. It was a really big deal. I hope President Ruto goes. But so you know. It's just us
the guy Dudley Thomas.
Dudley Thomas, yes.
Yeah, he was the one that saved Jomo Kenyatta, right?
Yes.
Dudley Thomas.
So there is a connection between Jamaica and Kenya. Absolutely, there is a connection.
From Norman Michael Manley days, the straight back. So the connection was there.
Hopefully, the president will welcome us in, because Kenyans have already accepted us, and for us moving here again, it's so easy mentally because we do the same things. We do the same things.
Alright. Okay, so to close off the interview, I don't know if you have any last word for our guests, our audience. You and jump to us, yes.
What I will ask is go to my website, kurdia.com. I spoke about, we have three target areas. The first one is the petition to get it signed, 5,000 signatures. The second one is to get all the people who signed the petition to send letters to their elective representative in their own countries. The third one I didn't really touch on. It is a Saturday school, decolonization school for here in Kenya. This only happens after I come here though, because I need to be here for it. And so we provide lunch. There's going to be 10 Chromebooks for the school, and it's a decolonization agenda. Basically, I want these children who I'm bribing with food, because come every Saturday I'll give you lunch and I'll give you toys and so on. But it's really to get them to think Africa first, to even think before thinking Kenya first, think Africa first, then Kenya, then you try. Because if these kids grow up with this mentality and get into business or get into politics, what do you think will happen? You know what I mean? So, and then after the decolonization class finishes, each of them will get $500 with some assistance in drafting a business plan with their parent to help them to do something. So that's part 3, but that happens after I get settled there in Kenya and work some stuff out. But I did get someone offer to sponsor it, and they wanted me to change the name from decolonization. So apparently that word is bad. So since I'm not rich and I will take the money, I'm gonna have to change the name to something else. But that's something I want to do, because I want them to be proud of being Africans, right? Be proud of being Kenyan, because a lot of things you see on TV, you're not depicted as in any popular positive light. And then thirdly, get them to start thinking business early, because I see a lot of people with university degrees with no jobs. So go to university to get the degree, but be entrepreneurial. Because if you start a company with your mom when you're 12 years old and it's doing well, can you imagine when you're done school? You'll be good to go. So that's the third part of the Credea agenda. So to sign the petition, it's credea.com/repatriation. And thank you. But I have a favor to ask of you guys.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you guys to sign the petition.
We will.
I'm going to ask you to film yourself signing the petition on your channel.
We will.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, family. So, you know, I was saying to you that this 5,000 signature is very important. So I want you, if you're watching this, go and sign up for that petition. We need this to actually help our brothers, you know, to have the right to come back, family. And if you're thinking about coming to Kenya, relocating to Kenya, and you want somebody to guide you and show you around in all aspects, link up with Jam Tours. I have a WhatsApp group that you can just click on the link and send us a message. I will take it from there, family. So, you know what I mean? One Love is here. One Love Africa. Go subscribe to his channel, Afro-Jamaican, Kenyan Beast. And the twins, you say?
Twins hang out Kenya.
Twins hang out Kenya.
Make sure to subscribe to my channel. You hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, family. One Love. God bless. Jamaica. We are out.
All right.